Hey friends, welcome back to another video. Today's video is a little bit of a glance at, a looking back, and a little look ahead at things that have been going on for me more recently on the cleaning home front. So if you've been here a while, you'll probably recognize this video back in the summer of 2023 when I did a video and it was stocking my cleaning cart and I was starting like a little cleaning business. I was cleaning on the side and getting out there and getting my feet wet on helping friends and family on cleaning. I did a few free cleanings and just trying to see if this was really something I felt like I could do. I kind of didn't ever expect to land at being a cleaner, but there was a part of me that wanted to start a cleaning business because, you know, I loved cleaning and I thought it'd be something cool to do. But then shortly after this situation, it became apparent to me that my life probably wasn't going to go how I wanted it to go until January of this year, when I was like, you have to stop letting fear hold you back. And you have to stop feeling like you need to give up because of the odds that are stacked against you, and none of that matters. And every successful person that's ever completed and succeeded at anything has also overcame obstacles, you know, kept pushing through when they thought they couldn't or when they didn't know how until they did. Despite everything that had been happening, and I'll get to this in a few minutes here, but I decided to just walk more in faith instead of being worried and actually start a cleaning business. So I actually started a cleaning business. So there was lots of things that were holding me back in the previous years when I started, and looking back, I don't think they were holding me back. It was more so just preparing me because you know, all things that we do are just one step at a time. And we also, when we do things, we don't exactly know everything that needs to be done. We don't know what to do until we're faced where we do need to figure it out, if that makes sense. So when it comes to entrepreneurial journeys and a lot of self-drive work, things like that, there's not really a blueprint when it comes to figuring it out, and it's really up to you. So it's up to you to, you know, realize and you know, figure out the depths that you need to know for the steps, the knowledge, you know, just everything, all the ins and outs, just to put it frank. And I just didn't know that when I very first started out until now. So I've been doing and operating my cleaning business from home. I'm currently just a solo cleaner, so I'm not a full establishment yet with a team or anything. But like I said, everything is one step at a time, and I've just been taking it easy, slow, my own pace, because I'm also wanting to provide myself with the proper time for learning, to do things correctly. And so, yeah, so I for Christmas, I'm kind of like just getting like giddy because I'm like, man, I can't believe I actually did this. But so around Christmas time, James got me a Cricut, and I did make my own merch and stuff. So not merch, but uniform, and I did a crap job, but I will say that was the first shirt that I made, and I'm still wearing it, you know, like 4 or 5 months later now. It's not perfect, but it still does the job, and it's still like working me towards a little brand that I'm creating, and I'm slowly working at trying to get better at it because I do still want to continue to make my own uniforms. I had to come up with some paperwork of my own, and just all different things, lots of different systems and ideas that I had to come up with. And what I'm going to be walking you through today was me deciding to kind of expand a little bit on what I had going on here, because this was not working at all. And so I needed more storage space and organization to keep things tidy and clean. And there's still more to the job after the job when it comes to maintaining the supplies and products. So I needed a space to better do that in as well. So I purchased some shelves that we're going to be putting up today, and we're going to clean up this sunroom because it's a hot mess. And it's just easier for me to walk into the sunroom when I get home versus having to walk into the basement. So since we kind of just been utilizing it for, you know, storage, I said, okay, why not? So let's clean this up.
Just take a look at yourself. Do you really think it's gonna help if you always fighting yourself, trying to forget how you felt? Just take a look at yourself. Can't even be your own friend, cause you're way too stuck in your head. How do you think it's gonna end? Nothing that they could do, nothing that they could say, nothing that they could do to take all the pain away. Sometimes it works out and sometimes it don't. Sometimes Sometimes you win some and sometimes you won't. But we could be everything, everything, anything that we see we could be. We could be everything that we want. We could be everything, everything, anything that we see we could be. We could be anything that we want. You think if they said it, then they must mean it. So you should feel it. Somehow you think that you need it. Others' opinions to know how you're feeling, to know if you're losing or winning, left behind or within it. If you're sinking or swimming, existing or living. Nothing that they could do, nothing that they could say, nothing that they could do to take all the pain away. Sometimes it works out and sometimes it don't. Sometimes you win some and sometimes you won't. But we could be everything, everything, anything that we see we could be. We could be everything that we want. We could be everything, everything, anything that we see we could be. We could be anything that we want. But we could be everything, everything, anything that we see we could be. We could be everything that we want. We could be everything, everything.
The craziest part about looking back at this is this video was actually filmed in July, I think, is when I did this, and there was just so much going on that I haven't got to it. I really wish I had more funds to be able to pay for an editor, because I would be able to get more content out a lot quicker, because filming is never the issue for me. It's sitting down to edit that takes me forever. And for those of you that don't know, I do battle some it's not really like a weakness, but I have retina issues, and so sometimes I can't stare at the screen as long as I would like to complete a video in one go, because a video, you know, sometimes can take like 10 hours. Not this one, luckily, but editing can be strenuous on anybody, but it takes me a little bit longer to edit just because of my eye condition. So with that being said, though, I do have some footage filmed. In the next one, I'll show you more kind of like behind the scenes of my cleaning stuff, and I'll share with you an update, because at this point, if you're interested in my videos, you'll probably be caught up on the crap that we've been battling the last couple of months, just with all the different crap in the house. And so I do take you a little bit behind the scenes on the current state of the house. It's beyond that at this point now. There's been a little bit done. We did have to throw out one of our couches in the living room. And the new one's pretty cute. My sister gave it to me. And then we did finally rip up the floor in the family room, and we're planning to put new floor down. So that whole level of the house is going to be getting a makeover, which I'm excited to share. And we're also going to get rid of a few other things down there and just, you know, make it more us. It smells crappy right now because the flooring that was down there is pulled up, and we took out all that smelly carpet, because just pets and carpet just doesn't mix. Even this turf in this room is so ridiculous to keep up on, because it has to be vacuumed all the time because of the pet hair constantly falling on it from putting them in and out of here, which is so annoying. But without the carpet down there now, it's a lot easier for me to manage, just because, like, you know, I'm not just here vacuuming the house all day, so it is hard to manage. And then them throwing up and stuff, and you know the drill. You've been here a while. You see how things go down. So I'm really excited that the carpet is now gone. We ripped it all up. We threw it all out, and we're putting in new floor, hard floor. Not hardwood, because I think we're on cement. So we're going to do some like LVP, I believe. I think we tried to pick one close to the floor, but it's not exact, but it's going to work out, and it's going to look so cute. When I do this kind of stuff, I always usually call my husband to come help me with this kind of stuff. But when it comes to building some simple furniture, like I usually will do it. But having now just, been doing my cleaning business and stuff, I was like, oh, I'm going to do this by myself, And I was in here for so long. It took me like an hour to put together each one. It was so crazy. It really wasn't hard or anything. It just took me a while reading the instructions, going back, yada, yada. But it was relatively simple and easy. These are not metal. I did not pay, the metal price tag. I wish I would have had it at the time of, but I didn't. And I was being impatient. So, I just went ahead and got these. I don't know what this material is. The wood on these isn't amazing, but I think it's going to hold up. It's been holding up so far, and it's been a couple months. But I think that it could relatively hold like that really thin wood. I don't know what you would call it, like that pressed wood, but it would be like a little bit more stable. In terms of the wood itself, I think I could replace that on there in the future if I needed to. For what I'm using it for, I don't think I do. I think even after I fill it up with everything that I'm planning to put on it, I still think it'll be okay. It's really more just like a landing in a drop zone than it is to store a lot of really heavy things. But in the Amazon pictures I looked at, people were putting like their literal coupon stockpiles on these. So I don't know if they did replace the wood or not, but they had like a crap ton of laundry soap on like every shelf and stuff. So I don't know. It looked like it held up for them, but I mean, I guess only time will tell. Now, jumping back into what I said I would talk about in a previous video, where when I was on my little hiatus over the summer because I was so busy and backed up on tasks and life, let's be real. But one of the reasons that really got me like really hesitant and scared about trying to take my YouTube career more serious is that I was establishing a lot of consistency over like 12 months, and then all of a sudden my ad revenue plummeted and I lost 75% of my income, which is what prompted me to start my cleaning business at the start of this year come January. And then in February, I established my cleaning business as an actual entity. And I started taking the steps one at a time to slowly just start venturing out to become a solo cleaning business, a cleaner. But I knew I didn't want to stop on my YouTube, but I just don't operate like a lot of other YouTubers do. First and foremost, I don't have a team. I don't have an editor. I don't have any family or friends that help me manage or micromanage any social media or anything like that. So I've been doing all this on my own. And so it was really disheartening when I thought I was going to be able to put all my eggs into it when it really wasn't going that well, because I also didn't accept many brand deals, and that was at a fault of my own. I try to just keep my channel very just, motivational. I just didn't want to flood my channel too much with sales because, as a lot of you know, I also don't do a lot of purchasing outside of like necessities and then you know, that kind of stuff. I don't just buy a lot of new things. I love a lot of functional items. So for a while there, I wasn't really buying, so I didn't feel the need to really do sponsorships either. Now, through talking a little bit about that, a lot of you said, you know, hey, go ahead and do sponsorships. It's not going to bother us any. So I'm in the works to try to land a couple to try to, you know, increase that revenue on my channel, because ultimately I would like to be able to get to a place where I can afford somebody else to edit my videos, and then be able to give back to you guys as well. That's like somewhere where I'd really love to be with my channel. I'm not really so hung up on the subscriber count anymore, even though before, you know, I get off this wagon, I would really love to get a silver play button because I've been doing this so long, but that's never been, you know, the main focus of what got me up to do my videos all the time. It was showing up for you guys, having a community, having like-minded people to, you know, go back and forth with and just not feel alone. And then through that journey, you know, I found that I was able to make a side income as well. But now, you know, I'm also realizing, like, as much as I like having a little side job and side money here and there, I also really want to have some sort of financial stability established. You know, with the kids growing up, it's always been difficult to not have that like mom guilt and, you know, having things taken care of, and James being the sole provider of the house. I've always had that guilt where it's like, well, you know, what do you need more for? Just scale it back, budget, do what you need to do. Like, it doesn't need to be crazy. You mix that with, you know, I have partial blindness. And so I've kind of just been, you know, floating by, just kind of taking what comes my way, because a lot of the opportunities I had haven't been worth it monetarily to take away my peace from being available and present for my family and just my own health and wellness. You know what I'm saying? But now that the kids are getting older and, you know, I'm realizing like, hey, I don't need to do every last thing. There will come a time now where, hey, I'm going to have more time and I can actually work full time, and that's going to be fine too. So that's why I was like, you know what? I want to do my cleaning business. I have to stop being scared. I can't give up on this. That's why I titled this video, Don't Give Up, because a lot of times when, you know, we're in the thick of life or we're trying to do stuff, we get to a place where there's an establishment and we're okay with that. We're content with that because we want to have that little, you know, we want to have that comfort, but there can still be something more on the other side. And I know not for all of us, but specifically sometimes you get in a headspace where, you know, when you find comfort and you are feeling humbled, you don't feel like you really need more. So you block yourself off from feeling like you deserve more. And that's the place that I was in. I was like, no, everything's working. It's fine. I don't need to do anything crazy, you know, blah, blah, blah. What was available, I felt like would cloud my peace more than what it would be worth. But now I'm realizing, you know, after these last few months of the year, just practicing, doing my best and showing up for my cleaning business and trying to hop in and, you know, also be present in the house and handle everything we have being thrown at us on the life side of things, everything still is feeling pretty balanced. Because at no point in life are we ever just floating and coasting. There's no point where I feel like we wake up and we're like, okay, everything is cared for. I just don't feel like that day is ever going to come. I don't feel like that's a way to live life. And I think that that's the scam. Because I think we're here to do the ebb and flow, have the faith, do the things, feel the things. And that's just kind of where I am. So I just haven't wanted to give up on myself. So I picked myself back up and started this. And although I don't have the consistency of understanding on how exactly I'm going to show up for my YouTube channel, I still know that I'm not going to quit. So I'm still definitely trying. But I know also that starting this journey, doing this myself, doing everything from scratch, like all this takes time. And I know that I can't be in 7 different places at once, but I know I can still show up. I know I can get things established. But I also can't run myself into the ground as well. You know what I mean? I've been a little bit slacking here the last like 2 weeks, but I'm also still trying to get my health better and under control. Nothing predominantly is the matter, but I am still trying to lose weight. I'm still trying to come down probably my next goal is like another 10 pounds. I have lost 12 pounds so far and I want to come down another 10. And I'm just taking each day as it comes because I haven't been able to have the routine. I have my things I want done and my priorities set up where, you know, I feel like we need that when we have a lot on our plate and a lot to manage. We have to be in charge of running our day. We have to set the tone for our priorities or things just, you know, take control of us. So I am a firm believer in that part of things. But also just kind of rolling with the punches, because when you have all these things on your plate, you're easy to be thrown off your game if you're not able to be adaptable to all these things that are happening. And it's not necessarily that it's going to go really bad one way or another. Sometimes things just need to take the precedent over your attention and time. But that doesn't mean everything's going to blow up in smoke. You know, you just might have to take a step back and come back to something. And so over the last probably year, but really over the last 6 months, I've realized that I've really started to sit and learning and understand that, where it's not just something where I'm saying it, I'm actually having to practice it and be okay with it. And I'm not getting worked up as much anymore. And I'm just kind of taking things as they come. You know, I'm still caffeinated. My favorite words are still provocative, but you know, we're here. We're doing the thing. We're making it do what it do, baby. What do you guys think of how this turned out so far? I love that I switched them around because I needed more room. I could have made do, it's not necessary, but since I had the space, I just couldn't wait to do this. I knew it was one better step in the direction towards where I wanted to go, so I'm happy to have all the storage, and this works out perfectly for everything that James uses in here regularly for right now. I can't wait to stock this up. I could have cleaned this shelf also with like something to get the rust off, but for this as a utility shelf, it really didn't matter. I just wanted my cleaning shelf to be clean, you know what I mean? Well, that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed catching up and seeing what's been going on. I do have some more footage to share with you on some things we've been doing around here. Like I said, we lost the couch and we're working on the family room floor, and I did get footage. We did paint the fence, so there's a lot going on. I do have some footage filmed. It's just a matter of getting it out there, but I will be chatting with you soon. I can't guarantee a Saturday upload right now, so I'm just going to be putting them up as I finish them. So I hope you enjoyed this. Give it a thumbs up if you did. If not, I won't share this stuff because I know this is a little bit different, but some of you might be interested. And that's all. So I'll be seeing you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.